What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. I'm your host, Matt K. Maurer, and the question on my mind today still is, why'd they fire Mike Malone? No guest on the show today, but I'll attempt to answer that question. Some other questions. We'll have a first-year interruption with Mike Malone. I'll do the Goosebump moments of last week, and I'll do a Cheaters Masters pick. Weird show. I'm kind of all off kilter this week, but I want to make a show because I haven't missed. I technically missed 1 week, but I'm trying to just play the intro. Who's down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
So why'd they fire Mike Malone? This is an excellent question, and one I don't think we can really answer, but upon my 5 minutes of research in Bleacher Report on the Safari app on my iPhone, I think I may have figured out a little bit about what went down. But if you didn't hear, a few days ago, the Denver Nuggets decided to fire their head coach, Mike Malone. This is a week before the playoffs start, by the way, and the same day, they fired their general manager, Calvin Booth. This is a complete clean out in Denver. Weird to have it happen this late in the season. I thought the Mike Brown firing early in the season was weird. Then I thought the Taylor Jenkins firing was weird. Now we've got this firing 3 days before the playoffs. Maybe it's a move more for the future, but for whatever reason, the Denver Nuggets believe that they have a better chance with an interim coach, and I'm so bad at remembering interim coaches. I never write down their name. I didn't do it this time, but that's not the question. The question isn't who's the interim coach. The question is, why'd they fire Mike Malone? Why would the Nuggets do this? Clearly, it wasn't Calvin Booth's decision because he's out of there too. He's also been fired. But straight from the horse's mouth on Bleacher Report, per ESPN's Tim McMahon and Ramona Shelburne, one Nuggets source described players as being, quote, freaking miserable, end quote, in the final weeks prior to Malone being dismissed. And this is apparently a quote from someone on the Nuggets, within the Nuggets organization. The players were freaking miserable, man. You could see it. The effort would come and go. I wish it happened sooner. We wouldn't be in this mess. Damn, I am stuttering. I think I've stuttered every other sentence so far this podcast. Let me take a sip of water, and I'm just going to make y'all awkwardly sit there and listen to it. Excuse me, and hopefully that was some mucus ASMR. But yeah, I guess that's the answer. That's why they fired Mike Malone, because the players were miserable. I guess all of the players hated him. I don't think Jokic hated him. Jokic probably didn't care. You don't really have to coach Jokic a whole lot. I mean, he's the best player in the league and one of the greatest of all time. So it's like, he's probably pretty coachable. But I don't know who's not coachable. Jamal Murray, MPJ, Russ. We don't know. We don't know who said that. We don't know which players were miserable. But evidently they weren't getting along with Mike Malone. And I guess that's why they fired him. I'm going to get to a little bit more Mike Malone. He'll be the first interruption. I wanted to revisit a quote from, 2 weeks before his firing from the man himself, Mike Malone. So I'll get to that later. But for now, I'll ask the question, who's out for the year? Technically, none of these are the answer to the question, but this is a dumbass show, as y'all know. But who is out for the year? Maybe Derek Carr. Very unfortunate for the New Orleans Saints here. Is that redhead guy, that Spencer Rattler, is he going to be their starter now? But yeah, Derek Carr's got a pretty serious shoulder injury. The fact that they said he might be out for the year makes me think he definitely won't be a day one, opening day starter. Who calls opening day in football? That's only for baseball. NFL kickoff. Obviously, it won't be Carr. Hopefully, he'll play at some point for the Saints fans. I've kind of been over Derek Carr for a while. Since that MVP season with the Raiders, he hasn't been uberly impressive, nor was Spencer Rattler. last week. Yo, what's up? Give me fucking 20 minutes, bro. Sorry, that's really awkward, guys. I know I have a rule, no cuts in this show, but technically I have to make cuts, to do the highlights in there, to do the first interruption. So I'm going to cut that out. My brother was just calling me and telling me he hates Brooke Lopez. That's not what we were talking about, but that is true. He does hate Brooke Lopez. But where were we? Derek Carr, yeah, probably out for the year. Rattler did not look great last year, so I don't know. Maybe the Saints go after a Jackson Dart or a Tyler Shaw in round 1 or 2. They go after a quarterback. Who knows? I don't think Derek Carr is really their future, so that's probably not their long-term franchise guy. But we'll see. I mean, but apparently not this year. I think he might be out for the year, but I don't know. Who's definitely out for the year, at least in Tennessee, is Nico Lamalieva. Does anyone know how to say his last name? It's really hard to pronounce. It's spelled Iamaleeva. I don't know how to say it, but Nico Lamalieva is entering the transfer portal basically after getting kicked off the team. Apparently, he was in a holdout. He skipped practice. There were rumors that he was trying to rework his NIL deal to get it to $4 million. And Tennessee said, go F yourself. I'm not gonna spend one of these Post-it notes on the F-bomb jar just yet. But they said, yes, yeah, right. Get out of here. We already signed an NIL deal with you. You can't just change the contract. This isn't the NFL. You can't hold out. And they kicked his ass and said, get out of the door, Nico. And yeah, I don't know if he'll be out for the year, but if he wants to play for another team in the SEC, he will. I believe there's a rule where you won't be initially eligible because of how late this happened. If he enters the transfer portal, he has to go out of conference if he wants to maintain eligibility and play this year. So I don't think he's out for the year unless he wants to go to, a Mississippi or a Florida or wherever. Then he would probably have to sit out a year. Last person who's out for the year is Patrick Peterson. He's not out for the year. He's out for his career. Terrible way to phrase it. He's not injured or harmed in any way. He retired, though. Patrick Peterson retired, the 8-time Pro Bowler, one of my favorite players ever to watch. He had one of the most unforgettable plays in my book. He had a walk-off punt return in overtime for the Arizona Cardinals. So hats off to you, Patrick Peterson, on a great career in the NFL. Happy travels. Have fun in Cancun. Now that's where you go after you lose in the NBA playoffs. He's probably going to Fiji. Let's get to my next question. Talking some football. NFL draft is creeping up on us, and we got some football news. My next question is really dumb, and I'll answer it before I ask it. No. Are the Browns back? No, they're not. I mean, I should say yes, though, because the reason I bring up the Browns is because they are signing Joe Flacco to a 1-year, $4 million deal. Who could forget that heater he went on in Cleveland? I think he won 5 or 6 games in a row, was putting up ridiculous numbers for the Browns. And as of right now, I would say today, if the NFL season started today, I think Joe Flacco would be their starter. What a quarterback room we have in Cleveland. We thought the New York Giants quarterback room was good. Listen to this quarterback room in Cleveland. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. 2 Super Bowl winners, 1 national champion, and 1 guy who, well, we're not going to get into Deshaun Watson, but to answer the question, the Browns, I would say they are back if they were going to start Joe Flacco day 1, but they're not. I think what's going to happen is they're going to end up they're going to end up cutting Deshaun Watson and probably paying him off to leave the door, to get out of the door. But I think they're going to end up drafting Shedeur Sanders. I'm not looking forward to it. I've always liked the Browns because they're the plucky underdogs, the lovable losers. So I've always liked to see them have success. It was fun rooting for them when they had Baker and Odell for a couple of years. But no, unfortunately, they're not back because Joe Flacco is going to be their backup. But who knows? Maybe they roll the dice and give Flacco a shot here. Continuing on in the sports world, my next question is Vlad underpaid? Maybe. He might be. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays this past week agreed to a 14-year, $500 million contract extension. Now, underpaid with a $500 million contract is ludicrous, of course, but you have to ask the question, is he underpaid? Because when you look at that Ohtani contract, $700 million, and that Juan Soto contract, I think was, $750 million? He's woefully underpaid. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is making a measly $35 million a year based on this contract. Although I guess Shohei's only making $2 million a year, but $68 million when his Bobby Bonilla, clause kicks in there. I would say he's slightly underpaid. I think he's a better player than Juan Soto, better hitter. Juan Soto's obviously a little more versatile. He doesn't have to, play first base or DH. You can kind of play anywhere in the field. I mean, mostly the outfield, and better base stealer. But Guerrero, better hitter. He's the junior. I think the senior was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Very discombobulated show today. If people enjoy this, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think, because this just feels like a weird amalgamation of my thoughts and just some I feel like there wasn't a lot of great news. The Mike Malone news was cool, but actually this was the coolest piece of news from the week. I think this happened literally a week ago on Sunday, but my question has to be, is Ovi the GOAT? Is Alexander Ovechkin the greatest of all time, the greatest hockey player ever? No, he's not. With these clown questions, why can't I give more clown answers? Why can't I say dumber and dumber things? I don't know. I think I say stupid enough things to hopefully keep people entertained. But congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. He breaks Wayne Gretzky's record with his 895th career goal on Sunday. But he's not the GOAT because apparently he did it in the same amount of games, and I don't know shit about puck. I'm not a puck head. I don't know any, I don't know it. I don't watch it. I'll maybe watch a game or two of the Stanley Cup each year. I watched some Four Nations, but it just really doesn't, I don't know. I'm a baseball, basketball, football guy before hockey. Soccer can go ahead of hockey as well. But no, he's not the GOAT. I saw some hockey heads saying Gretzky is still the GOAT because Gretzky had that record for that long, and Gretzky was known as not a scorer. He was a distributor. He was getting the assists, and I don't know if he has the assist record, but I would assume he does, and that's probably the record you have to break in order to be considered the GOAT, better than the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Let's get to our segments. First, your interruption with Mike Malone. Welcome back, Mike Malone. Not to the Nuggets, but welcome back to this dumb podcast. I wanted to include Mike Malone in this week's first interruption because there was an interesting quote we found from about 2 weeks before the firing, and it was Mike Malone kind of talking about maybe how some of these players were, quote-unquote, freaking miserable. Mike Malone didn't say that, but he did say this. Here's First Interruption with Mike Malone.
It was a brutally honest message, and the guys that are fully won't hear it. They'll say coach is tripping. And the guys that maybe do really care will, because they're not going to go back and watch their minutes, because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film. And
okay, to me, coach is tripping is crazy. That was clearly a direct quote and probably not one that was said to Mike. He probably overheard someone saying that because no one would say coach is tripping to their coach. We don't know who said it, but there is a video out there of, tripping is a pretty common expression, but there is a video out there of Russell Westbrook saying, y'all are tripping to some reporters after they asked a dumb question. So it might be Russell Westbrook who said coach was tripping, But I don't know. Seems like he got fired because maybe Mike Malone is a little bit too much of a hard ass. You know, maybe his methods aren't really working to improve the team. I heard the rotation stunk, which is not good news for me, who bet on the Nuggets NBA championship. By the way, that Houston ticket did not hit. And you'll see that in the Goosebump moments of the week, which is coming up here. But yeah, Mike Malone has been fired. Coach is tripping. Coach is tripping, and he's taking a trip to Cancun because he's fired, and he probably gets a decent payout from his firing. So Coach is tripping somewhere. He's on vacation, trying to get all that off his mind. But yeah, unfortunate for Mike Malone. Probably unfortunate for my Nuggets bet slip as well. I don't know who the interim coach is, but an interim coach winning the NBA Finals seems pretty rich. Feel like that hasn't happened before, but we'll see. Maybe the Grizzlies can do it. Maybe the Kings aren't gonna do it. I can tell you that. Maybe the Grizzlies can do it. Maybe the Nuggets can do it. But who knows? Let's get to the Goosebump moments of the week. Although that's not what I have written here. The Goosebump moments of last week. There is a bit of a lag. This weird show just gets weirder and weirder. These are from like last week's show until like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the next ones will be on next week's show. I apologize to anyone who is really diligent with their top 10 and is like, oh, why don't you have that walk off or that shot in there? Hopefully I'll have it in there next week for you. So these are the Goosebump moments of last week. Let's start it off at number 10 with a simple play, but yet a Goosebump moment. Francisco Lindor with a walk-off sacrifice fly to win it for the Mets.
Siri the winning run at third. Terrence at first, one out. Lindor gets a breaking ball and drills it to right center. Over comes the center fielder Straw. Tagging is Siri. He comes in to score, and the Mets have a walk-off win at Citi Field.
Number 9, Wilmer Flores with a base hit to win it for San Fran.
Base hit. And here comes Matos, and this game is over.
The Giants have swept the Mariners.
Number 8, Spencer Torkelson completes the comeback for the Detroit Tigers.
Leveled to left field by Torkelson. It is down all the way to the wall, and the Tigers behind Torque have come all the way back.
Number 7, the Pirates raise the Jolly Roger on Tommy Pham's walk-off.
Tommy Pham to deep
Frick
left
the
field.
Yankees.
Raise the Jolly Roger. Tommy Pham wins it. The Pirates defeat the Yankees 5-4 in 11.
Number 6, Wilyer Abreu hits one off the Green Monster to walk it off for the Sox.
Back to the wall.
I'm stuttering.
Here comes the run. Bregman will score, and the Red Sox walk it off.
Number 5, Willie Adames walks it off in the 11th on the Giants' home opener.
This game is tied, and here comes the runner home. This game is over.
Willie Adames, in his first opening day as a Giant, gets his third hit of the game, and he is the hero.
Number 4, Elijah Martin damn near murders someone on this Final Four poster.
Martin. Martin with a signature slam. Sent it in. Big fella. What a challenge at the ready.
And Martin, unafraid.
Number 3, Joseph Tugler with a clutch putback dunk during Houston's comeback over Duke.
By Houston.
Are you serious?
Grabbing on D. Never packed the tact, these kids.
Number 2, Ja Morant hits a step-back jumper at the buzzer to win it.
Morant goes on where? Step back. And it goes! Ja Morant wins it for Memphis.
The other night.
Number 1 moment of the week, Florida wins the national championship on one of the weirdest endings to a basketball game you will ever see. I should quit betting.
Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sharp.
He walked. He can't touch it.
He can't. 1 second, and it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball
Dude. I was gonna say I feel bad for Houston bettors, but that's me. I feel bad for myself. Is that the worst possible way to lose a basketball game? You didn't lose on a travel. You didn't lose on a double dribble. You lost because your player was smart enough. He had the presence of mind to know that he would travel or double dribble if he grabbed the ball back that he just dropped. He had the presence of mind to not touch it, and he tries to box out, praying one of his teammates will grab the ball, and Condon fucking dives on it. There's $1 for the F-bomb jar. There it is. Thank you, Houston. You already cost me $50. But yeah, it's not even that good of a moment, but I put it number one because you will probably never see a basketball game end like that. I guess maybe in high school basketball or something, but I had so much faith in the Cougars. They were up 12 in that game. I was so close to feeling vindicated with my shitty bracket and my Potawatomi bet slip and making that 375, which is, more money than I did just get a new job than my broke DoorDash ass usually makes. But there's nothing to say. There's no words you can use to describe the way Houston lost that game. I feel so bad for Emmanuel Sharp. And I think if he pump fakes there, Houston wins the national championship and Emmanuel Sharp is immortalized into college basketball history. But he didn't pump fake. He jumped. He dropped the ball. Didn't want to travel. Didn't want to double dribble. Left the ball be. And I don't know. I guess looking back, he should have grabbed it. Got called for the traveling so they could try to foul Florida and maybe get the ball back for a miracle. But just like I will never get over BYU beating Wisconsin. I can get over that. I just can't get over. I'll never forget about that game. I'll never get over those two losses. Those are just as brutal can be. But let's just finish out this weird ass, short ass show with my Cheaters Masters pick. Yes, my Cheaters Masters pick. I'm not a big golf guy. I'm not a dimple head, but for some reason I love the Masters. I don't know what it is. The tradition, the pimento cheese sandwiches for $1.50. I try to find ways to hate on it. I'm like, the Masters, that's kind of weird. Is that like racist origins? Googled it. Nope. Like someone showed the concession stand on social media. I commented. I'm like, yeah, but how much are the tickets? Someone replied to me. It's like, oh, it's like $140 for a day or $480 for the 4-day week. And I'm like, damn, that's cheap. You do have to enter a lottery, but I like keep trying. I'm finding ways to hate on it. I can't. I love the Masters. I watched a little bit today. Haven't been watching much of it at all, but watched enough today. Saw some really good golf from Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy. Tough bogey for Mr. Justin Rose. Justin Rose was leading for most of the time. Now Rory is 2 strokes ahead of Bryson DeChambeau, and Bryson's another 2 or 3 ahead of. Actually, he's another 4 ahead of the next closest guy. So here's my Cheaters Masters pick. It's a 2-man race at this point. Between Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau. It'd be pretty shocking if either of those two guys didn't win it at this point with only 1 round to go. But you gotta think about 2011. You can't help but remember that a bit. Rory McIlroy's epic collapse at the Masters. I forget what it was. I don't know if he blew like an 8-stroke lead on the final round. Something ridiculous like that. I think he does it again, but I don't think Bryson DeChambeau is a benefactor. I think Bryson DeChambeau also does it. It's a double all-time collapse. My Cheaters Masters pick, who I got winning and putting on, I think, his first ever green jacket, excuse me. Don't come for me, golf heads. But my Cheaters Masters pick, who I think is going to win it, is Ludwig Aberg. He's, 6 shots back of Rory right now, but I'm only picking him because he's got a cool name, and I'm not even quite sure how to pronounce it, but here's my promise. If he wins the Masters, I'll learn the correct pronunciation.